Just want to make sure we're good, and we are good. Okay. Technical difficulties. We apologize for everything. So I finished up my food as well, but we ran into a lot of technical issues. So that's why we're starting a little bit late than expected. Again, we apologize for all that stuff. Danny Boy Reginald, along with Bill Corpus Crispy. We're gonna make it short because we're kind of running out of time in terms of like getting ready for the NFL and all that stuff. And I'm to full disclosure, I've been moving from one town in Virginia to the next. So things are kind of busy, as you can probably tell. But I do want to express that it has been a lot. So things are going on here. And again, we apologize for the technical delays.
And I had some personal things to deal with yesterday.
Yeah, so it's been a whole thing. But we do want to real quick just get to Commanders and Bears tonight. 8:15 start on a Thursday. By the way, this is a Thursday night gridiron on Sports Saying on the Sports Insanity Network. Speak right, Danny Boy. Let's get to tonight's game real quick. Commanders are 2-2, coming off a very tough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, where they actually took the game to overtime. They've had their chances to win, if you really think about it, but not the case. Eagles move on to 4-0. Commanders are 2-2, right in the thick of it in that division. So they're right there, Bill. They are totally. So good for the Commanders as they're able to battle the. In my honest opinion, look, I like the Eagles. I'm not saying the Eagles aren't a good team, and I'm certainly not saying they aren't a contender for, big time playoff run, possibly Super Bowl. I think the Eagles are overrated. I really do.
Really?
I think the Eagles are a little overrated, and I think the Commanders proved to the NFL world that they can keep up with a team like Philly. They proved it very well.
I absolutely agree with you on that point.
High scoring game, but they kept it well. Offense was good. Sam Howell was good. Ron Rivera coached a good game overall, and the team was ready to go. And that's sort of what I'm seeing out of the Commanders, except for that Bills game, where
you were there.
Were not in sync at all throughout the entire game. Washington has done a tremendous job at staying with teams and being ready to go, being ready to pounce when it's their time. And with this matchup for with the Bears, which, let's be real, Chicago is terrible. They're not a good team. I really think that Washington should pounce early and really take advantage, Bill, of the opportunity that they have here, because it's not every day that you run into a really bad team that's struggling, that can't find ways to win games and stuff, despite big efforts by quarterbacks like Justin Fields and everything. So to me, Washington has to come out big, come out strong. They'll win this game easily if they do that, because
but
the Bears are lifeless. Go ahead.
You also got to look at it this way, though. The aside from the front four of the Washington defense, the rest of the defense in Washington is absolute garbage. Opposing teams average 30 points a game, and quarterbacks complete 64% of their passes against this Commanders defense. They are second to most allowed, behind only the Denver Broncos, who I'm sure we're talking about in a second. So I think right now, and I know we talk about the Commanders and talk about the Bears, but you got to look at it this way. I think the Bears really got to take advantage of that weak Washington secondary and that Washington defense. So I think this is going to be a tougher game than expected. Not saying that the Bears are great. They're far from it. They're garbage. But I think that's going to be a big factor that needs to be kept an eye on tonight.
Washington, to me, is a big second half team. And I know they give up a lot of points. I'm not looking at this team from a defensive perspective because we know defensively they're iffy at best. What I'm saying is, against a very weak Bears team, let's be real. And look, I understand they had a good game against Denver. It's Denver. Come on now. Denver got obliterated against Miami almost 2 weeks ago.
They gave up 70 points.
Yeah, and then they go against the Bears, who are also a very bad team. At least we now know that they're a very bad team. So, two bad teams facing each other, eventually one of them is going to come out on top. And the Bears, who had a big lead, 21 points, can't keep it. So, if I'm the Commanders, let's be real here. Bears are bad. They're a bad team. Take care of business. You're at home on Thursday night, short week. You're going to have a long time off after this. Pounce and take over, because there should be no reason why the Bears should ever belong on the same field as a team like the Commanders, who are actual contenders as of right now. Of course, season's long, anything could change. Right now, they're contenders. So prove to me that you're contenders.
The Commanders.
Yes.
Yeah, because right now, if you look in that NFC East right now, they're sneaking up on Philly. They're sneaking up on Dallas. My Giants are way in the cellar, but we're not here to discuss that because I don't think Reggie wants to see me have a stroke tonight. So,
no.
Because Reggie likes me. He doesn't want to see me go to the hospital. But anyway, no, I absolutely agree with you because we saw last week. And listen, when you look at the Bears, Justin Fields actually did not have a bad game last week. Justin Fields last week, he was 28 for 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked 4 times, unfortunately, and had 4 carries for 25 yards. So Justin Fields did not have a bad game at all last week. He actually had a very solid game.
I think a lot of the game, obviously, Justin Fields, you can't exonerate him.
Absolutely not.
He made mistakes late in the game that cost them. Eventually, when bad teams are just flat out bad, you have to look towards a lot of places. That's the coaching staff and the front office. And Bill, you keep talking about how the Bears are tanking for Caleb Williams and everything. And I get that. I understand that. Problem is, Bears are tired. I'm sure Bears fans are sick and tired of losing, having to tank for quarterbacks, to try to find the one. They thought they had the one with Mitch Trubisky. Doesn't seem like that was never the case. They thought they had it one with Justin Fields. That's not looking good right now either. So then, how many more times? And keep in mind, this is a 6-7 year span. This is not, 3 quarterbacks in 15 years. This is a 7 year span. How many more starting quarterbacks do I have to see the Bears throw out there?
Probably about 42.
It's getting a little out of hand.
It feels like 42, doesn't it? But Like, here's the thing. I want to ask about Justin Fields. He's now in the third year of his rookie contract. Do you think, okay, next year is going to be the last year. Do you think the Bears are going to extend him? It's probably a little too early to tell, but
Well, can't they pick up his fifth year? Do they have an option for the fifth year?
I think I'm not 100% sure. I think so.
Because if they do, they can always do that.
Pick up the fifth year,
Or
or
extend him.
like, do you extend him, or do you like next year basically just okay, Caleb, welcome to Chicago.
Back to the drawing board. I don't know what you do. I don't know.
Because Reg, you're right. And like, for instance, with the Bears drafted when they traded with the Eagles last year, and the Eagles ended up getting Jalen Carter, look what happened there.
I don't know.
And you know what? Speaking of the Bears, we talk about the coaching staff. Do you think Matt Eberflus is going to be on the hot seat?
This is his second season in Chicago, right?
Yes.
I think the Bears have gotten worse under him. Shame, because you have a developing quarterback that's trying to be the franchise, and you're not allowing him to. One, two, the team just looks absolutely poor and poor and poor and poor. Like, eventually, you do have to look to the coaching staff. It's not red hot right now. I wouldn't say that, because let's just say they decide, oh, we're just going to go after a quarterback in the draft. They draft a quarterback, keep the regime there, and then they do well. Then it'll turn out to be a big success. But if it doesn't work out and it's a massive failure, then it's going to keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter until it burns, and then you have no choice but to fire the guy.
So would you say he's on the hot seat?
I think he's lukewarm right now. So the way I would describe it, we have some heat, but it's not getting up there yet. It's sort of hovering, if that makes sense.
So what you're saying is his seat is heating up.
Sure.
Is that what you're basically trying to say?
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it.
The seat is heating up.
And I'm not saying, look, I get it. I don't like getting rid of coaches early when you don't even know what the plan is.
Oh, the Giants have done it over the last 5-6 years. So, yeah, they go like every 2 years, they go through a new coach. Look at that situation. McAdoo, or as I affectionately call him, McAdud, Shermer, and Judge. So franchises have gone through multiple coaches. Franchises have gone through multiple coaches. Like, look with is it right now the time for Matt Eberflus to get shown the door? And last year, I always say this about NFL coaches, Reggie. I always say this. When your team gets a new coach, don't be expecting to hoist the the Lombardi Trophy in February.
Yeah.
The first year is usually growing pains. You have a new system that needs to be adjusted. You got new, players and coaches need to get acclimated. people at the end of last season were saying that Matt Eberflus, hey, they may have sucked this year, but hey, the culture is changing in the Chicago locker room. People are getting along better, which is all well and good. But if this team is regressing, not progressing, then I think you're 0-4 right now. If the Bears lose tonight, Reggie, then I think Matt Eberflus better be worried about his job. You're starting off the season 0-5. You are literally coaching for your job right now. Reg, am I crazy?
You're not crazy, because I get it. I'm just saying, I don't know what the Bears' plan is. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what direction they want to take this team. They could very well be tanking on purpose right now. Players obviously don't know that, but the front office may know. The coaching staff may know. So what I'm saying is that, you have to, if they have a plan in place for what the team that they're envisioning, don't you think you owe it at least a third year to see what it looks like?
Yeah,
Hard to tell.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
So tonight with the Bears, if they want to win this game, what's the big X factor on that team? What is it, the player or the specific part of the team that has to come out and be strong?
I think there's a couple X factors. I think one is going to be utilize the run game like the Bears did last week. And, whether that be Justin Fields or the running backs, I think that's going to be a big X factor, because you're not going to have Chase Claypool tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be down a wide receiver. So I think the run game is going to be a big thing. And I just said this earlier, take advantage of Washington's secondary right now. They are, like I said, 64% of passes are pass. 64. There's a completion of 64% of passes, and teams score an average of 30 points, making them the second most behind only Denver. And I think those are going to be the two big X factors tonight. What is your X factor?
Coaching has to be consistent from start of the game to the end. Better play calls. They have to defend well. So I think coaching and defense, because I truly think the Commanders are a lot better than a lot of people think. And, the Commanders don't mess around. They don't. So that's where I will go through. Mostly coaching, because they have to be better. Clock management has to be better. They have to be better. Play, with their game plan, play calling, all that stuff has to be better. So I'm calling on the coaches to come out and really show something. Real quick, back to the Commanders real quick. I know we talk about how Ron Rivera, who I think has done actually a pretty good job this year so far. I know,
because I was thinking that he was going to be on the hot seat this year.
Well, but the thing is that you're right, because the Washington has underachieved. Even in the year that in Ron Rivera's first year where they made the playoffs, they were under 500 team when they made the playoffs. So they are very much they're not dead in the water, but they're not doing any favors. Certainly. But I think they're much better than a lot of people think. Do I think Ron Rivera's team is hot as well? No. I think he's taking his team and and obviously the Washington can decide whether or not. I understand there is new ownership too. That's a factor into it as well. So I'm sure Josh Harris may want to consider getting his own people in place, have his own front office, have his own coaching and all that stuff. But Ron Rivera's done a pretty good job, so it'd be tough. Let's say the Commanders make the playoffs, it'd be very tough to just let go of him just because.
Now, I'm going to agree with you on that point, and here's what, because I have thought that of coaches who are going to be on the hot seat this year, I think I was thinking from the beginning Ron Rivera, because I'm thinking if the Commanders have another abysmal season, then I think it's time for ownership to bring in the new ownership is going to probably bring in their guys. The ownership's going to bring in their people and the people that they want. So right now, I think Ron Rivera is safe. But if this devolves into something and they finish below 500, I think there might be time for change in Washington.
Yeah, I'm not going to go quite there yet, but definitely good points by you, Bill. He has underachieved. He hasn't quite gotten the team to where they need to be.
Because you got to look at him overall. He's in his, fourth season as Washington's head coach?
I think so, yeah.
He's in the fourth season as Washington's head coach. He has only made the playoffs once and won the NFC East in a season when the NFC East was the NFC least, when it was just a garbage division. So he basically got by.
And let's be real.
Okay, let's be real.
He's made excuses for it too, right?
Yes.
He's made too many excuses. So I get it. I just don't think it's just like with the situation with Eberflus in Chicago. I just don't think that, especially for Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is a good coach. If you're just going to get rid of him for no reason, it makes no sense. So you might as well just see it through.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So with the Commanders, on offense, Sam Howell has been the quarterback. He's another one of those players, first time truly commanding an offense. Still going through a lot of, flaws in his game, trying to figure things out. His main targets, Dotson, McLaurin, hasn't gotten into a big rhythm. But somehow Washington continues to score. They find ways to get points, and whether it's on defense, whether it's on offense, maybe the running game and stuff, featuring the Brian Robinson Jr., all that stuff. So far, the Commanders have, despite some of their woes, they've actually found ways to score, which is very impressive. And that's where I'm going to go tonight with my X Factor. How is the offense? How's the passing game, to be specific?
I'm going to agree with that. Is going to be Sam Howell. I think he is going to be the big X factor in this game. How's his passing game going to go? I think that's how it's going to. I think that's what is going to be his X factor tonight. Is how's the passing game going to go, and how's the offensive line going to be?
And are they going to score points with him truly commanding that offense? Is he going to give his receivers a chance to make plays?
That's a very fair point. I think Hal is the factor tonight. I think so far he's been progressing well.
Yeah, I think so too. A lot of people are concerned about his, his decision making. Sometimes he makes an errant throw and gets intercepted. I also agree with you. He is progressing very well. 100% agree with you on that.
I think because last week he lined at 29 completions, 41 attempts, 290 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception, but was sacked 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what you said earlier about the Commanders, and I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I personally don't think Philly's overrated. I think they're a very good team. And I know you disagree with me on that one.
Well,
but hey,
I'm basing it off of the games that they've played already. So go ahead, continue. Sorry.
But no, I do agree with you at the point that they just came in and really showed that, hey, this team can be vulnerable. So I do agree with you on the fact that they really exposed the vulnerabilities in Philadelphia. So that's where I give the Commanders credit. And so that's why I think the Commanders, I would say they're kind of a sleeper team.
Yeah. I do think Ron Rivera has to sort of see the moment better. I know they had scored a touchdown late and decided to kick the extra point to send it to overtime and stuff. Why not go for a 2-point conversion in that situation where Philly, you have all the momentum against Philly. They are dead. I mean, dead. Looking up at the sky, there's Jesus and the other Eagles out there. That's how dead they were. So that's another advice I'll get to Ron Rivera. Just when we're talking about pouncing on opportunities, that's a chance that he could have done that. Didn't do that, backfired. Eagles won.
Look what happened.
But don't repeat that mistake against the Bears. If it in fact it comes down to that, I don't know if it will. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to rapid fire in just a second. Bill will host that. But we do have some sad news to report. It did come out about a half hour ago, maybe an hour ago. Dick Butkus, legendary linebacker, Chicago Bears, did pass away at the age of 80. So we do want to acknowledge that and send our condolences over to his family and over, I believe, in California right now.
Dick Butkus, who is in both the Pro and College Football Hall of Fame. He played with the Bears from 65 to 73, 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-Pro, 5-time first team All-Pro, 3-time second team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, who was on the 60s and 70s All-Decade team, 75th anniversary all-time team, and 100th anniversary all-time team. He's on one of the 100 greatest Bears of all time and has 51 retired. So rest in peace, Dick Butkus.
Yeah, truly a pioneer in the sport. So sending love over to his family tonight, going through a very tough time. Okay, let's end on a high note. Rapid fire.
Okay, it is time for rapid fire. Okay, we don't have music for it. Hey, we can't, because we don't want to pay anyone to compose it. Composers cost money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Here we go. Who do you think is going to win first, the Bears or the Panthers? Both are 0-4.
Panthers.
I could think so too. Second, with the Giants loss, that I don't know if you heard the comment that Evan Neal said, and there's a rumor going around, keyword rumor, that Brian Dable and Joe Shane got into a verbal altercation after the game. Are the Giants currently in disarray?
I think the Giants are in disarray, but it's not because of that type of stuff. They have bigger issues. First things first. I think the whole Evan Neal thing is overblown. Bad comments, 100%. You don't talk down to your fans like that. You don't call them hamburger flippers. You don't tell them to boo louder and everything. You don't make fun of them. Like, these are people who use their hard-earned money to pay for tickets to watch you. And so far at MetLife Stadium, you got blown out twice. So
Well,
yeah,
here's what I'll say.
don't
I'll say this
do
to you.
not. So yeah, do not disrespect the fans. But it's overblown. It's way overblown.
I think it was a stupid comment.
Yeah, it was a
I think it was
ridiculous
a
comment.
stupid comment, but I understand he was just venting his frustration.
Well, yeah, look, and that's the thing. Look, we have to stop with this whole, well, don't disrespect the fans. You're always gonna lose. No, dude, you have to understand. Evan Neal came from a winning culture. He came from a winning culture, growing up in the IMG Academy, into Alabama, and now obviously in a losing culture with the Giants. He's not used to the losing. So, of course, as a young human being who's not used to it, he's going to voice his frustration. He feels like no matter what, you should just cheer. No booing, just cheer. Now, unfortunately, it's the New York crowd. No, if
New
you're
York
from
is
New
one of the
York, New
toughest crowds.
Jersey, like I'm
Evan,
sorry, New Yorkers, New Jerseyans, like we care about the product. So if we boo you, the product is not good. You're just gonna have to accept it. But I don't agree with this whole idea of you know going after him, calling him names, ruining his life just because he called out fans. Like I just
again,
don't agree with that.
stupid comment.
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course.
think he should have said it. I do not think he should have
No,
said
no,
it.
no, no.
But I think he was just venting his
Yeah.
frustrations. And listen, he's not.
He's not a
I
bad.
I think
Yeah,
those were dumb comments, and you really shouldn't say that. But
yeah.
I think he was just venting his frustrations. And listen, I'm a
He
Giant
has a
fan. I'm
right to.
frustrated.
Look. Players don't like to get booed. Bottom line, they don't like it. I wouldn't like it either. Um, and I understand where he's coming from. So look, give him a. I think you should give him a pass. I do think you should accept his apology and just move forward. And look, for Evan Neal,
You okay there?
keep talking.
Yeah, but no, with Evan Neal, I I don't think it's as like you said, I don't think it's as big as you think it is, as people think it is. So that's what I think about this whole Evan Neal situation. And are the Giants in disarray for other reasons? Yes, but for this one, no, I don't think so.
Um, yeah, no, it's definitely not because of that. The
Okay.
Giants have bigger problems. Well, for one thing, they have a quarterback problem, which
Yes.
I think is bigger than whatever this crap.
Oh, that could be its own show right there. But anyway, last one. I know we're a little over time. Name a bad team with a good quarterback.
A bad team with a good quarterback.
I'm going to say the Vikings.
As strange as it sounds, I know it may not seem that way. But I still think Denver, like Russell Wilson I think he's a good quarterback. I know he may come off as washed up and, certainly not the same. And look, he isn't, he's been in the league for what, like 12 years now. So obviously, he's not going to be the same quarterback he was 12 years ago. It's nearly impossible. But I still think he's there, and I still think he can play. It's just about putting a good team together. I don't think Denver's is not a good team. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Minnesota Vikings right now. They're getting off to a rocky start, but I think Kirk Cousins has really been playing good lately. And this is his final year in this contract to see if he's going to be back or not. Or who knows? The Vikings also might be tanking for Caleb Williams. Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, finally tonight, what is your prediction for the game?
The Commanders will come out on top. I say it's a 2-touchdown victory.
Okay. I'm going to say Commanders 3-touchdown victory.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, guys. Sorry we kind of had to rush through this a little bit tonight, but, tech issues. Reg, if the good people want to find us, where do they go?
Go to the website, sportsdaynetwork.com. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And then, of course, on X and all of our social media platforms. S Insanity Real. That is our handle. And I'm Danny Boy Reginald.
I'm Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy.
Sorry, this was a very sloppy show, but we gave you
I think
something.
it was good for a sloppy show.
Yeah, I did.
I think it was good.
Yeah. Please stay tuned for more football content on Sports Day Network.
Stay safe and take care.